A couple of years ago, Colleen Ballinger, also known as Miranda Sings, dropped the worst apology video in YouTube history. She was exposed for interacting very inappropriately with minors at the time, young children, young teenagers, just extremely weird. She recently went onto a podcast to explain her side of the story or another apology, and it's not very good.
The difference between me and a mainstream celebrity, at least in the beginning, was that I was attainable and look, she'll talk to us, she'll interact with us. And she's talking to us from her living room. She'll talk about anything. And she's so open and she'll talk one-on-one with us. She meets us in person at her shows and whatnot. And we know her, you know, and I didn't think about when I was interacting with my fans, I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial relationship. And I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think I felt the same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talk to all of them like they're my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them. And
forget about the parasocial relationship and the power dynamics for now. A 30-year-old grown woman has little to nothing relatable to a teenager. The whole drama surrounding her is that she felt incredibly comfortable around these children while being a grown adult, so much so that she was doing inappropriate jokes with them. You can't do sexual jokes around children just because you're friends with them.
To hide our snack from the bears, we have to hide it in our clothes. So for example, what? There we go.
That must be like the best place to hide it because there's no way you can fit that in your pocket, literally.
True, literally.
There's only one thing I have fit in my pocket right now, and that's lipstick, just in case.
Just in case. And so now, watch this. We're on the date, James. It's really romantic. Oh, we're getting close and personal. Oh, but I'm so hungry, James. Hold on, I got a snack.
Was this in your self-help book?
Was this in my self-help book?
Was it? Because I brought self-help with me and I was just wondering.
Well, shouldn't you know if you've read it? I'm just kidding, James. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. Do you want a cheese ball?
I'd love one. I can't believe I'm reaching in there right now.
I seriously can't believe she thought this was a good and bright idea to do with a child.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice. I was with that group of like the first YouTubers that kind of like rose to any sort of stardom or fame, you know, in the beginning. So it's not like there were people before me doing this that I could look to and ask questions about. This was a new thing.
Mind you, the things she did inappropriately with kids happened nearly a decade ago, well into her adulthood. You don't need someone to tell you what you're doing with your young teenage audience is inappropriate. It's something that you should automatically know is not appropriate.
Said about you. There's been allegations of grooming behavior, or how do you... What do you think they're talking about?
That one is that's the one that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was out. I was done. Because that was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking because I know that my intention and my actions have never been fueled with the desire to manipulate or groom anybody ever. That has never been something I have done or will ever do. And it's a very serious accusation.
Very serious.
So when those kind of words started being thrown around, that's when I kind of was, I kind of shut down, and that was devastating to hear.
Which leads us to the best, worst apology ever made in the history of YouTube and social media, where instead of actually addressing any of the controversies, any of the drama, you made a whole 10-minute video singing about how it's a massive toxic gossip train.
I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though. just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right? You guys having fun? All aboard the toxic gossip train.
She did say she was pressured by a ton of people to make a response, which is valid, but if you're gonna respond, at least make it so you address something. I also think it's weird people go on podcasts to tell their side of the story instead of making a video on their own platform to address everything.
There were moments in your live shows where there were children brought up on stage and you were, as showbiz says, going for the funny in a lot of moments. However, looking back at moments, there is another person on the internet who is saying that when she went up on stage for your live show, she was a part of the yoga challenge section of your show. And it made them feel gross. Later in life, they were essayed, and when they look back at that moment with you, they feel similar feelings. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga challenge?
Colleen proceeds to give context into this situation, explaining why she did that and what was the reasoning behind it, which is great, you know. Giving context can often explain a lot of things, but this situation, well, all of the situations can be explained by saying it went too far, it was wrong, it was extremely inappropriate.
If you could explain why there is a clip of YouTube of a little boy eating Cheetos out of your pants, could you explain that for the audience, please?
Pulling Cheetos. That makes it sound more egregious. Like he's physically eating out of her pants. He wasn't. He was taking one.
Oh, he was taking a... See, that's how things get twisted.
Right. Yeah.
So could you explain it, please?
I already showed you the clip earlier when she took a bag of cheese balls, put it in between her pants, and then she sits down next to him and then proceeds to ask him if he wants a cheese ball, which is very weird. Even the kid understood what she was telling him to do was incredibly weird.
And so now, watch this. We're on the date, James. It's really romantic. Oh, we're getting close and personal. Oh, but I'm so hungry, James. Hold on, I got a snack.
Was this in your self-help book?
Was this in my self-help book?
Was it? Because I brought self-help with me and I was just wondering.
Well, shouldn't you know if you've read it? I'm just kidding, James. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. Do you want a cheese ball?
I'd love them. I can't believe I'm reaching in there right now.
Please?
Well, I mean, what a crazy thing to hear, that there's a woman on stage and there's a young person taking food out of her pants and eating it on stage. I mean, that's crazy. A lot of the joke with Miranda was that I would say and do things that were inappropriate or had some sort of sexual innuendo to them or something like that, and it went over the character's head. Like, Miranda was not aware that she was saying something that could be taken the wrong way. That was a lot of the jokes that I did as the character.
You can't use your weird personality or weird alter ego to justify your weird behavior.
I was doing a live stream like I did pretty often, and I was opening up a box of clothes that I had bought, and in it was this underwear bra set that I didn't order, and it was we were all laughing about it. So everyone in the chat was laughing about it, me and my friend, and he actually put it on over his clothes and was like, "Look at this," and we were laughing about it. And there are people in the comments saying, "Oh, send that to me, send that one to me," and we were like, "We're not going to do that. That's crazy." But then there's one fan in particular who kept asking us to send it, and I was like, obviously you can tell in the live, like I'm like hesitant about it because there is a little bit of brains in there somewhere that was like maybe not, because I hesitated. But then I was like, and I didn't send it. I didn't. But then it was just became an inside joke with the fandom, and everyone was like telling me to send it, and he kept asking for it. It was like months of this. And so finally I did, and it was very public and as a joke. And it was like a part of my brain was missing in action of like, hey, this is not a good idea. This looks bad. It wasn't a pair of my something that I sent to a young fan in a inappropriate way, but it was inappropriate. Like, why would what part of me thought like everyone will know this is a silly joke in the fandom? Like, that was, I wish I'd never done that. That was so inappropriate. And if he was made to feel uncomfortable because of that, like, I feel terrible, and I'm so sorry, because that was not my intention with that. I thought it was like a silly inside joke with the whole fandom. It was all very public, and it was, I thought it was a silly thing, and it was so stupid.
This whole thing could have been entirely avoided if you just didn't make such a parasocial community. She needs to understand that her entire community was filled with young teenagers or children. Her acting all friendly and buddy-buddy with them feeds into the parasocial relationship, which makes them do more weird things or interact with her in ways that shouldn't be allowed. But that's gonna be it for me. If you guys want to watch the entire podcast, I'll have it down in the description. I wanted to make this short as possible, but it's still pretty long, I guess.